Wildcard, they have a lot to prove. They want to show that yesterday wasn't just a fluke, but Direwolves, they've kind of just been that always not quite performing at their best team, and this split, you know, now that it's been shaken up with Ground Zero taking the loss, might be the one for them, but it looks like they're just keeping the ball out of the net to start this first game.
I like how the first statement that you make in this series, in the entirety of the upper bracket, is immediately disproven of a chaotic defense, but they still manage to swat it out to the side, I guess.
I mean, whatever works. They got it out, didn't go in the net, and that's what's important, right?
in the end, that's what matters, and it can also bring down morale, but in that regard, you can make an argument about everything.
And eyes on Fiber for this one. Fiber, he scored some really nice goals yesterday to help Direwolves top out their seeding yesterday and make it into this upper bracket. He's always been the big mechanical player for Direwolves, and you can see just how confident he is already going for some flip resets.
Now, from the other side as well, he was approaching the ball from the wrong side. Sicky, he's approaching this from the right side. It's denied by Misty. Caveman Ben still keeps it into the attack. Fiber this time isn't lurking somewhere in the attack.
And this is a best of 7. We've had best of 5s up till now, and like I was saying, best of 5s, there's a bit more upset potential, less games. A 3-0 can get away from you very quickly, but a best of 7, it'll give us a lot better of an opportunity to really see who's the better out of these two teams.
Ooh, Oko with a decent shot, but right on a Sicky. And indeed, it just has more variety in this series, more opportunities to adapt, to make sure you get through to that top 3.
And yeah, Sicky, we saw him, good defensive performance there. He's been in America, grinding the American ranked as well. So we'll see how that helps him shape up mechanically for this series.
I feel bad for the Americans. They were complaining about SAM players having terrible ping in their lobby. Now they've also got OCE players with terrible ping in their lobby.
Nah, Siggy's got the hacks. He flies over there for the practice.
He has a VPN.
Yeah, but overall, this game kind of back and forth at the moment already, and really can't seem to have either team setting up consistent pressure just yet.
Well, there's a Wildcard at least attempting to set up some offensive pressure and consistent as well. Fiber stops it quickly, brings back control of the ball. It's briefly into the Direwolves' hands. Wildcard, they're pressing onto the attack, almost scoring because of it.
Yeah, and I think you can already kind of tell neither team are particularly aggressive, kind of for Kidden or Ground Zero. We're starting to see it a bit more relaxed, both teams focusing a bit more on the pressure, and neither teams have a big opportunity rather than those first few seconds off kickoff.
And it's off to the side. And Walcott has had a decent shot. Now he actually needs to turn it into an attack. Direwolves, they're pressed back. They're in the corner and they're getting battered with opportunity. Fiber, that's great control. Goes up high, spikes it down, but it misses.
Yeah, it misses, and then the follow-up was a little too slow. But again, you can see Fiber looking very promising with, you know, just the confidence you can see him going for flip reset after flip reset.
Fiber is going to score a goal that we're going to see back later today in the top 3. I'm already calling it.
Yeah, Fiber, I mean, he's got a best of 7. He has so many games. Guaranteed another best of 7 no matter what happens here, and he is a highlight reel machine.
And here he goes up to the top. Sicky beats him to it. Brings the ball out to the side. Walcott there with a shot. It's a simple one, and it goes underneath.
Yeah, Mocha, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe pre-jumping a little bit, but Walcott just being a little bit tricky and getting it past him.
You know what I already miss? Fiber cam.
Fiber, what do you miss about Fiber? He was pretty hype.
Cam.
Yeah, he was pretty hype, honestly, especially scoring those goals. You know, we've seen a bit of a... Ooh, actually, Mock kind of getting a goal almost from the corner. Wildcard really getting the better of these kickoffs.
Righting his wrongs. And quickly returning the favor to Direwolves. And bringing them back to a level game. We've played about 4 minutes and all we have is a tight game.
Yeah, we saw Mock very aggressive on the Grogans. Really that player pushing forward. So I'm interested to see, you know, Caveman Ben generally a bit more of a rotational player. Will he be able to unlock Mock to be that really aggressive kind of goal-scoring player that he probably wants to be?
Misty, that's a decent 15, landing it into the center. game number one. It's always a warm-up game. We've not seen either of these two teams on stream today, and this is the opportunity for them to prove themselves. Caveman Ben, and not enough pace.
No, it's still tied at 1-1. There's 30 seconds left remaining, but again, it seems like both teams relatively defensive. I wouldn't be too surprised if we get into an overtime, but that's a own goal. Misty getting the best of that air dribble.
Great acceleration, though, to be fair, by Caveman Ben. It was only unfortunate that it was in the own net. He overstepped his mark.
No, that was an impressive shot by Caveman Ben. Might see that in the top 3 plays of the day today. But yeah, that's not 30 seconds left remaining. Wildcard, we'll have to see what their aggressive side looks like now.
And there's still a better own goal by Ground Zero in literally the first series of today.
Oh, that was sick, yeah.
That was an insane one. Mock trying to score from a similar angle to that. Walcott wants to get it out. 14 seconds. If you give this away, that's going to be detrimental on your morale.
Yeah, and it's not looking like Wildcard will get a chance. They just can't get that big clear they need, but they're trying to keep it up. But Direwolves very aggressive to shut down these passes and hit the ball on the ground. Direwolves taking the first game.
The quick confrontation there by Misty to make sure that the play couldn't get out of hand, because realistically the only way you're going to score if you have to build up all the way from defense at 0 seconds is when somebody doesn't jump in, when somebody actually allows you aerial space.
I tell you what, I'm loving how focused Walcott looks like. I think they're really realizing just how good of an opportunity this is. Winner of this gets guaranteed at least third, and both teams struggling to get that last split, so it's a good opportunity for both of them.
It's very early, of course, since it's the first event to talk about the major standings and everything like that. But everybody has to realize that every single game has massive implications for said major, whether it makes the road more difficult, whether it makes it more comfortable. And for Direwolves, it will certainly make it more comfortable. No guarantees.
Yeah, we had Direwolves all through RLCSX, always kind of just outside possible major international contention, not quite able to get into that top 2. They struggled last split as well, but this new format, the points completely resetting, they have a great chance to try and solidify into that top 2 for international experience.
I'm excited to see either Direwolves or Wildcard compete for that spot. They're both factors that can compete at the top. If we look at top-level Renegades and top-level Ground Zero from last season, but they're still struggling to do it consistently. And at Direwolves and Wildcard, they need to consistently bang goals into the back of the net.
It's another good kickoff from Wildcard. Looks like they've got a speed flip down pat that Direwolves just can't seem to deal with at the moment. And look, it's a dangerous situation, but they can't just seem to find that shot on net they need.
It's something that Ground Zero did as well. Often people disregard kickoffs in 3v3, but with Ground Zero, they show why it can be important. Walcott, he doesn't miss the open net.
Yeah, he almost did, though. Certainly finding the absolute bottom, but he does it all himself, passing to himself nicely off the ground to outplay that Wildcard defender.
Great start by Direwolves, and that's why some people make the argument that kickoffs don't matter, because you can return the favor right back. But it's all about that initial control. Fiber, he's quick to it here. That might be an opportunity into Walcott yet again.
Yeah, Walcott getting another bit of a freebie there. Fiber just being very quick, dribbling past everyone, and just no one home for Wildcard.
This is about the best start that Direwolves could possibly ask for. Anything else, and they're overstepping their mark for certain. 31 seconds in, 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a best of 7. 2-0 isn't the end of the world for a Wildcard, but there's so much time left remaining in this game, and it'll be interesting. I want to see what they look like now that they need some goals quickly.
It's a positive, at least, when you go down early and have a long time to make it back, and a 2-goal deficit is very regainable. It's not an irrevocable position, but you do, kind of the same with the major standings, put yourself in an awkward spot.
I think it's difficult against Direwolves as well, because they've always been a pretty defensive team. I think a 2-goal lead is going to be incredibly safe for them, but the double miss on the backboard, and Siki doesn't miss those.
I have a graph up on the side, right, about the literacy rates in Australia. It just shut up after that read. That was a phenomenal one.
Yeah, that was actually pretty awesome by Siki. It hit the top, went down, not completely, but he perfectly gets it to make that goal happen.
Out-reading both defenders. Now Mock goes again. Walcott will be in the front of it. All of a sudden, Wildcard, they're right back into the game. This is a situation that you look at and it's not worrisome whatsoever.
No, I mean, 2 goals, you have to start to think it can be kind of hard to chain them together, but as soon as it's a 1-goal difference, anything can happen, especially with so much time on the board.
A 2-goal difference is what they say is the most dangerous lead, and it's usually for Copium, but they say it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a false sense of security, but Fiber wants that security back, so gets it back to a 2-goal lead.
A bit of safety net is always better to play this game. Sure, it would be the exact same win if they do it 1 or 2, but it's just about those ending phase. If you go into the final 10 seconds with a 2-goal lead, you're feeling confident. Of course, we're still so far from that.
No, I mean, 4 goals already in this game. It's high scoring, both teams making mistakes on defense. You can see Direwolves as well, not looking as confident as we normally see them shut down plays.
And Siki needs to get into the attack, but Fiber quickly shuts that one down. Misty so far back, allowing Siki a bit of free reign on the dribbles. Caveman Ben, free aerial space, uses it. Not a flip reset pulled off.
Yeah, Ben, he's been very impressive in the past, though, being able to score those flip resets, those big important shots, and his team might need it because, like we were saying, as the time goes down, the 2-0 lead gets, more and more important for Direwolves.
At some point, it's a best of 7. If you have to pull off the reverse sweep, it's so difficult because by the end you will be exasperated. You will be so knackered. You would struggle to bring up that focus. Direwolves are charging on to putting Wildcard in a position like as Misty breaks through again.
Yeah, just another mistake here from Wildcard, just looking a little bit awkward. Siki just struggling to find his place on the wall, and Misty just going to realize that instantly.
I am struggling to see what Wildcard can do there. They have been trying to switch it up. Kickoffs are in their favor, but Direwolves just edge them out every single turn.
Yeah, Direwolves are, just very clinical in front of the net in this game. They've had a few suspect moments in their half as well, but Wildcard just can't seem to find the finish the same way that Direwolves can.
And it's very fitting for Direwolves to start working more as a team because Wolves hunt in packs and all that kind of stuff, and they're doing it together here as well. Pass back center, Misty fakes out too. Now maybe wants to get another one, just doinks it up awkwardly, and that would be the end of the attack.
I tell you what, I think Misty was actually a bit surprised he got the double fake there because he just did not seem ready at the slightest to score that goal, or maybe feeling a little bit of mercy to not make it 5.
I feel like Misty would be unrelenting in that regard, just trying to fake it out another time because it's 1 minute 15, you're up by 3, you have a bit of wiggle room to play a mental game.
You're right, maybe he was even going for another cheeky fake. Direwolves, they're certainly not looking like they're letting go on the gas, trying to, like I was saying, extend that goal count to 5.
Ooh, Misty, good interception. Into the attack. And they wiggle through one last goal or another goal. Maybe it doesn't even have to be the last Walcott. That's a free shot. Wildcard, they're a bit chuffed up in defense.
Yeah, Wildcard still just, like you said, looking a bit awkward in defense, a bit flat, making small mistakes, and it's just leading Direwolves to get these goals. So this game, it's certainly out of Wildcard's reach now, bar some crazy exception happening. But looking into those next games, they're really going to have to fix what's going on there.
Ooh, that was a close one. Caveman Ben still not breaking through in Wildcard. 19 seconds and they might just concede another instead of score. I think Fiber make sure that it's at least not going to be another conceded goal for the Wildcard.
Yeah, and Wildcard still looking for the consolation. You're right, they don't want the reverse consolation of getting scored on right at the end, but Direwolves trying to do what they can to just bring that morale down on the Wildcard side.
A tiny sip of water. I feel like Walker has got the perfect habits for a Rocket League game. You sip of water and drive your hands.
He's a hardcore athlete, that one. He's got the fed, he's got the water.
Hello.
He's ready to
That's
go.
a fourth sip. He took 4 assists. I don't know how big of swigs they were, but Walco out there partying. Hello.
I think he's just having a bit of a sweaty time out there, certainly focusing. He wants this win, he wants that top 3, and he's hungry to try and get those points to possibly make that major.
Oh, you had the perfect opportunity to say thirsty.
Not quite as clever as you, I fear. Maybe soon.
Overall, you are. I'm really good at being dumb, which sounds. I'm smart at being dumb, No,
that's a talent in itself. Good on you.
Man, Direwolves, they're good at being good. 4-1 in this game, 2-0 up in this series, looking like a brick wall to break through.
And we're with the best of 7, so they get the tactical timeouts now. The perfect time to take it, going down 2-0. They really cannot afford to get put onto match point with so many games still to recover. So this next match, incredibly important for them.
I love that wildcard time their timeout here. Not after 3 games when you're under the gun. After 2, when you know things are out of hand, when you have to figure something out. I'm glad that they're calling it now, but Direwolves also have one to counter.
Yeah, so Direwolves, they're going to be feeling comfortable. Wildcard, it's difficult to know what they're talking about because, still a new team with the new mock introduction. We haven't seen too much of that style they really want to push for, but certainly they're going to have to figure out what's going on with this defense because they can't be letting in 4 goals a game.
It must be so tiring, so fortunate for them to sweep ground 0 and then having to call a timeout to prevent, at least from being on track to being swept. Of course, yet again, we're nowhere near that, but Wildcard are in a troublesome position.
Yeah, and it's great for Direwolves. Direwolves, like we've talked about it, they tend to struggle later on in these tournaments. They've always looked like a solid team, but unable to really push forward. But if they can put on a strong showing here, shut out Wildcard from, advancing further in this upper bracket, get that guaranteed top 3 place, it's certainly improvement from their roster.
Wildcard not being able to show up whatsoever, or not to the extent they would have liked. In the last split, Siki gets an opportunity right off the get-go, but Walcott, with all the water in him, he's heavy on that 50.
I mean, it's another great kickoff coming out of Wildcard. That's actually a massive bump from Misty and Fiber getting a freebie to start the game.
That was a freebie. The perfect definition of a freebie. There's no way Fiber's missing this.
No, and it's just great play from Misty, following, dunking the ball, still having the foresight to bump the next player. So big play from him to bring Direwolves in the lead.
Ooh, that was a close kickoff from Siki. That could have been pulled through all the way. Mork still wants to pass into the center. It's denied.
Yeah, they might be a bit overcommitted here, but no, Mock, the one making the play, is the first person to get back. Fiber almost making the play, but now on the other end, it's just end-to-end here with both teams trying to get these counterattacks.
This hurts either way, right, for Wildcard. They call the timeout, go back into the game. First thing they do is concede.
Yeah, it's certainly not great for the morale, but I hope they can bring themselves back together. We're saying they want to fix that defense, but you think they probably have been mentioning what are some more consistent ways we can score against this Direwolf defense?
As of right this moment, they're banking on Direwolves making a mistake, and not necessarily a forced mistake at that. So they really need to be innovative in the way that they approach this game. And Walcott goes up high and decides not to go for it.
It's difficult because that's a tough way to win a match. Direwolves, they're a defensive team. They don't tend to make unforced errors where, on the other side, you can see Direwolves making these mechanical plays, the passes, going for the bumps. They're trying to force these errors out of Wildcard.
Usually that corner is a pretty dead zone. Caveman Ben makes it 16, a lively zone, but it's still no pull through. Misty, that's an open net. All 3 players. That's the most terrible touch you could have gotten.
Yes, very unfortunate there. There's a demo actually to open things up. Caveman Ben with a dribble, and Misty puts it in his own net.
As a rip, only 6 KPAs. It seemed like a ripper, but I think Walker would have had this.
Yeah, I think he did, but I don't blame Misty. He was just trying to help his teammate, but just slightly miscalculated on where the clear was going.
And that's all tied up. Wildcard are doing a good job in this series. Woka up high, looks to trail this one closely to the backboard. Mock's just patiently waiting.
And Direwolves, you know, they're going to be disappointed. They've let go of their lead, but you've seen they've been very aggressive this entire game. So I think it's just keep the gameplay, keep the strategy going, and they're going to look for another goal soon.
Oh, here they're looking. They're searching the needle in the haystack, and the goals don't come aplenty. Also for a wild card. And that's a good pinch to start them off.
Yeah, almost finding a goal almost out of nothing, but someone there to make that challenge. And Direwolves not quite controlling the play as much as they were before. Ben looking very dangerous, but not enough boost.
The flip reset was phenomenal. It looked promising. Then the recovery afterwards, it just got a bit out of control. Fiber tap it to it, looks for a second touch, misses it. Mock read it. Good read.
Yeah, Fiber incredibly fast to that. You can see Direwolves, they want to be aggressive. They don't want to just sit back, but Wildcard, they keep finding good chances to get out of their half.
Well, Siki, here they go again. Another good chance. Misty up to the skies. Caveman Ben comes out of his hole up to the skies. Makes an aerial play into the attack. Mock just lurking there. He wants a long lob over the top.
Yeah, both teams kind of stuck in a bit of a stalemate here. Maybe it's a demo that will open it up, but no, Mock was ready to make that clear and relieve that pressure.
Fiber. Oh, he wants to go underneath. He wants to fake it out. Caveman Ben, he knows how he could look ridiculous and how he wants to do it right back to Fiber, but also Fiber denies any of that happening.
I'll tell you what, Direwolves, they're rotating back so quickly. It feels like Wildcard, they should have these chances. They're passing to each other. They're finding these chances. They're making mechanical touches off the wall like that, but there's just always someone from Direwolves back to neutralize the threat.
Mock denied by Woka. Woka has been so pacey the entire way through. I love the way that he's stepped up and the different kind of role that he's fitting into.
Yeah, you know, always known throughout his entire career as being that third man, very passive, kind of defensively minded player, but you can see he's really pushing forward, even double committing here to follow it himself. Okay. I'm loving the confidence coming out of Walker.
It's phenomenal. Sometimes you have those mechanical players who push up and then they try to go for a redirect. I think Walker's using his experience to just go for a simple shot. Caveman Ben uses it right back to save it.
Yeah, he shoots it right at Caveman Ben, who was waiting, and now it's a bit of a counterattack opportunity, but again, you can see just how quickly Direwolves are getting back on defense.
That was a close one, though. Mock almost forcing his entire way through, and this goal is going to be decided by only the singular one.
Yeah, it looks like we're about to go into overtime. Both teams have been doing great at shutting each other out. A few chances on each side, but overall that tactical timeout, we were saying Wildcard, they want to improve their defense, and we have been seeing that.
And Walcott nicely just grounds it. Doesn't even want to keep this ball, but wants to go to overtime. Have a clean reset. Wildcard, they've been threatening on those kickoffs yet again. Get control up to the skies. Siki takes it. Fiber there to put in a quick challenge, but it's still Caveman Ben through off the post and in.
And it might be the kickoffs that are a real big difference maker here in this series. Just Wildcard winning every single one, being in those positions, the cheating player moving forward, and Caveman Ben with a great shot to just sneak it in to take game 3.
Threading the needle there, and oh my, what a matchup. What an important one for Wildcard. They're on the border right now, and Direwolves, they're going to have to find a response to this. This is why... This is a testament as to why those tactical timeouts just work.
Yeah, you could see just Wildcard to concede 4 goals last game to only 1 against the Direwolves. It was honestly looking far more threatening that game. So really impressive defense there from Wildcard, and Direwolves, they're still going to be hungry for this next game. Wildcard, they're not out of the woods just yet. If they go down 3-1 in the series, it's still very difficult to come back from that.
And just the ability to call a timeout brings so much more depth. When are you going to call it? What do you say during those timeouts? How are you actually able to change things around? Wildcard, they have, and they're right back on path to advancing into that top 3. They still need 3 more, though. They've only took first step.
I know, and Direwolves, I think they'll still be feeling pretty confident. It felt like that was definitely Direwolves' game to win. Definitely disappointing to end that on a kickoff. I feel like they should probably figure out what's going wrong on these kickoffs first, because Wildcard, they're just smashing them on every single one. It's just unheard of.
The manipulation great game on that. is exquisite. They know exactly how to angle their car and also spot the opponent's car. And here we go, right back into kickoff for game number 4.
And Wildcard winning the kickoff again. Direwolves cannot catch a break, and Wildcard will see if they can convert on this good win.
Well caught. Went to the side. Caveman Ben there to stop him. Mock dives underneath and just wants to take a slower approach. Fiber has an opportunity. That goal's open, but nobody's there. Walcott got massive muscles. Sicky still keeping it out.
Oh, and then the follow-up from Misty accidentally hitting the ball backwards, but Fiber there to save the day, but certainly dangerous for both sides of both teams here.
It's going to be Misty. Oh, 0 boost and a miss to back it up. I guess the bump somewhat makes up for it in the high ball. Allows him time to come back.
Yeah, Wildcard feels like they're in a bit more control this game, but still Direwolves very quick to make those challenges. They don't want to give Wildcard too much time on the ball, or else you can see they're going for demos. They're trying to set up teammates to get easy goals.
Misty, oh, yet another miss, and yet another time where he has 0 boost to play with. Fiber, good dive in, and to the side, pops it back, confronts his opponent. Fiber still keeps this ball close. It's in the end, it's Sicky to clear it.
Yeah, again, the defense looking a lot more solid, but that's just bringing out Direwolves to try and bring out new kind of offense. We've seen Fiber really, dominating the mechanical show here from Direwolves, but Misty showing that he has them as well.
It's a bit unfortunate to see a miss here and there, which Misty has been capable of. But those long balls over the top, we've seen them a lot today. And of course, in terms of bringing offense to your team, they're super fluid. But in terms of clearing out momentum from your opponent and giving yourself some time to breathe, they're phenomenal.
You can see Direwolves starting to get a little mixed up in defense as well, so it doesn't hurt them there. Walcott being very dangerous, faking out the demo and then getting a beautiful pass for Fiber to open up the scoring.
Misty took the continuation there for the bump. It was putting Sicky in an awkward position, even though Sicky took off before Misty was there. He still has to have a tiny worry in the back of his head.
Yeah, it was actually Fiber just doing everything I thought Walcott was. He was the one to fake the bump, pass to himself, and then follow it up. And that's really what Fiber's known for on this team, just the crazy solo plays.
It's up high. Mock into the attack, maybe with a flip reset. Sicky out to the side. The first controlling touch needs to be followed up by a bit of a desperate one. Sicky almost makes sure Misty wintles when he avoids it.
Yep. Avoiding it, and Wildcard setting up now, trying to get something to work for their offense. You can see Mock was deep in the net, but having to rush back to try and defend. Missy getting a second chance at a dribble. The pressure is still here, but Wildcard holding on.
Fiber, no, are they still though? Fiber off the post yet again. Direwolves just cannot crack the barrier. That is the net. There is missed the mouth every single time. And Misty from an angle.
Yeah, Fiber just flying in, pre-jumping his teammates past. Kind of looked a bit more like a shot, but Fiber just reading it perfectly. The pre-flip as well, and Direwolves getting a 2-goal lead.
What Misty did was easy had he had the 50 boost to play with. With about 10 in the tank, that is brilliant work by Misty, but it doesn't matter. It could all be for nothing if Walcott fails this clear.
Yeah, Wildcard winning the kickoff again, and instantly Direwolves under pressure, but they recover once again and wanting to keep this lead too. You do not want to go one down like we talked about. Mock looking dangerous, but Direwolves are holding strong.
I love how Misty was able to regain. He's had 2 misses, sure, but shake that off and you're right back into positive ways. Misty comes up and he will shoot at your net.
Yeah, Sicky finding a nice save. Fiber somehow getting a flip there, but you can see Direwolves not quite ready to overcommit, but it almost punishes them with a bit of a counterattack opportunity for Wildcard.
I feel bad for Wildcard because they are playing really well. It's just that Direwolves are playing exquisitely well at every single turn. They're getting a profitable 50. Mock with a shot. Walcott avoids the demo and clears it away. Direwolves are not to be messed with. The counter attack. Fiber just goes high. No way, right? Fiber
So textbook from Fireball. He's just so great at these double touches, just quick, setting himself up, and the whole way you just know he's scoring that as soon as he's unchallenged.
I do not agree with this. I'll be a ref. I'll stop in and tell Fiber that was out of pocket.
Yeah, we'll give a bit of a mercy rule there. Just Fiber just styling on Wildcard, and Wildcard just really struggling to get goals of their own on the board, even though they're winning every single kickoff.
Misty into the attack. That could be a problem due to just not being experienced enough together. If Ground Zero just don't manage to score, referring back to yesterday, yes, you can go on the counter, but if your opponent scores, bangs them in left, right, and center, you're struggling.
Yeah, Caveman Ben not expecting this perfectly placed shot out of Fiber, just looking a bit silly, driving in circles, and he makes it 4. Direwolves now.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, just very well played there, off the wall. Direwolves looking very strong and almost winning a kickoff, not quite.
They're getting close. Something that surprised me yesterday, it has nothing to do with the game. How much Wolves do you think could be in a pack?
You don't think 3 qualifies, huh?
Well, I'm just curious to see, like, what's the maximum number you would think of Wolves in a pack?
10? I'm not sure. We don't have too many Wolves here in Australia. You're the expert here?
Well, no, I wasn't. I looked it up. Google was the expert, and it goes up to 24, so it's 36. That's a ridiculous amount. And Direwolf, they only need 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have Twitch chat behind them, so maybe there's a few thousand Wolves supporting them, and just helping Direwolves get to a 3-1 lead in this series. This is what we talked about. Wildcard, they need to win 3 in a row, and it's looking really tough to just win a single one at this point.
Wildcard, they got 1. They used their timeout. They can't use another one.
Yeah.
If Direwolves want to throw them a bone, let Wildcard be vultures and eat the rest of their prey, I guess they could call it, but I doubt it.
Yeah, that one game they got, it was very hard fought in the overtime. Getting that kickoff goal is just every game just feels so difficult for Wildcard to win, whereas Direwolves, it feels like any day at the office. They're just playing very well, very clean, and it just seems to be working for them.
Simple stuff. They make it work at every single turn. And we see that replay. It's so consistent, and that was exactly what I was missing from Direwolves last season.
Yeah, they've always been a bit inconsistent in these later stages of the tournament. Like we said, it's a big match here. They jump from, possibly losing in 6th all the way to 3rd just off this one match. So it means a lot for these guys. Like we said, the major points, they've reset. Direwolves, they've always been in a bit contention, but they've just struggled with that consistency in these later stages of the tournament to show up.
Now they are going to have to find a said consistency. This is, of course, a best of the 7. Due to being the upper bracket, Wildcard want to get back strongly.
Yeah, Wildcard almost starting it out. They always just feel like they're so close to getting that demo to open up the net, and it just doesn't work out for them.
Walk into the attack. Fiber, quick challenge, goes past them. Caveman Ben still leaps to the defense of his teammates, wants to right their wrongs. It's, that's an uncharacteristic miss from Walcott, maybe even the first one.
Yeah, saved by Misty though. You can see Direwolves, it's really what's helped them be consistent here in defense, where they are getting back quickly and they are ready to make up for each other if there are those small mistakes like this or there.
And here they go, this is the attack, it's a ripper. Fiber leaps to it and quickly gets the follow-up. What a rapid man, he's been eating something in his breakfast to give him pace.
Yeah, and Walcott almost getting a crazy goal just all out of nowhere from midfield, and it's Direwolves just with this pressure looking very threatening because we know what they're capable of.
They've proven that the previous 3 games, and even the game that Wildcard won, we accredited to Wildcard playing phenomenally. Direwolves somewhat slacking up, but I do not want to take away from that game, as Wildcard are showing a similar form in this.
Yeah, Wildcard, they're looking more solidified in defense, not giving as much space for these solo plays to even begin for Direwolves, but still feels like they need to fix what's going on in offense and not overcommit, because Fiber getting a nice goal off that counterattack.
A open net handed to him on a silver platter. That's an aggressive third-man jump in. Way too aggressive in my books.
Yeah, I mean, when you see two Direwolves players ready to sink that home, Walcott just behind Fiber, I think you know you've messed something up pretty badly.
After kickoff, that's also not favorable. The one thing that they always had in their support, they're missing out on it. They were able to grab back possession. Siki, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you go ahead. I don't know what to say here. It's just everyone on Direwolves just kind of forgetting to go for the ball. It happens. I think we saw a bit too much trust there in Direwolves. It was certainly confusing, but yeah, they're not going to be too impressed with themselves letting that one float in.
Yeah, I think atrocious would be a decent word to describe it, and luckily they did have a good goal already to back it up. Now a double commit, but does clear out to the side.
And Wildcard, again, just pressuring, looking good, but just missing that final touch to get the ball in, bar, those Direwolves mistakes we saw just then.
Fiber lurking underneath, but not getting anything. No boost because it was already grabbed. Mock diving ahead for the bump on Ghosts. He must be seeing something there. Fiber, it's a decent 50. Maybe he can get this out to Walcott. Walcott there to rip the shot. Caveman stops it at his roots.
And back to the other side. Misty doing a good job of controlling it. He sees that both his teammates were a bit overcommitted, and Direwolves showing their mechanics in defense as well.
Up high into the midfield. Walcott denied any opportunity by Siki. Misty goes up high, finds Fiber. Fiber can do some ridiculous things. Rips one, and that was a cannibal and a half.
Yeah, Direwolves certainly looking dangerous, but Wildcard starting to respect it a bit more and also looking so confident. That's a dunk in the midfield, and then a massive shot from Caveman Ben that doesn't work out, but the follow-up's there, but Direwolves almost getting back so quickly, but it's just relentless.
That was just unfair to the to Wildcard for not getting a goal right there. The defense of Direwolves still popping off, and this shows what kind of work Wildcard have to put in to finally break through.
Yeah, that's the speed I think we've been missing. It feels like Wildcard have just been sitting back, kind of just hoping they can get easy goals, but no, they really need to push the limits and really play that speed that we see they have.
This is a dead ball. Mook finally the one to claim that as his. Caveman Ben reset up the ceiling. Direwolves, they're panicking right now. They're under a lot of pressure and they need to break out more consistently.
Direwolves are, we want to see them in offense. We want to see them linking together a bit better. It's felt like in this game, they just haven't really been backing each other up, getting that one extra play after the solo play to get the goal.
1 minute is approaching. Caveman Ben in an awkward scenario, but that loft over is actually perfect for what Misty was planning. Now Fiber to the skies, 4 boosts to work with, and wants to float on down
nice
to
touch.
an opponent. Walcott, great touch even.
Yeah, but Wildcard just shutting out the Direwolves, trying to make these cheeky dribbles happen. They're just challenging quickly. They're not letting themselves get faked, but opens up the net for Fiber. But everyone back and looking solid from Wildcard.
Misty pass. Caveman Ben yet again reads that from a mile away. Caveman Ben in that defensive half has been phenomenal. Mock is behind it, and Misty will put it in.
And that's a big mistake to be making from Mock. He's that third man. He needs to be consistent there. He can't afford to miss, and that's why Misty just getting a free goal.
It's incredibly free. That's a miss. Mock should not have been permitted. Well, they move on. It's still a tied game, and still 30 seconds left.
Yeah, both games for Direwolves actually been a bit gifted to them this game. First, the overcommit from Wildcard, then the mistake from Mock there. So overall, Wildcard certainly feels like this is their game to win, but it just feels like they're giving Direwolves some unnecessary chances.
Oh, Mock, that's a great pass into the center. Caveman Ben, an opportunity arises, but also he had the grassroots directly shut down. 4 seconds, 1 goal is of course going to make the difference in this, but it might have to be in an overtime. Yeah,
going into this overtime, it's match point. Wildcard, they need to win this, and it's all off the kickoff. They finally lose one where it's not the time, and Misty getting set up, but Mock makes up for his third man mistake with a very clutch challenge there, and Siki almost getting a double touch. It's followed up by his teammate, but Direwolves quick to get back.
This was locked into the claws of Wildcard. They seem solid.
Oh,
Misty
underneath.
breaks that open, wriggles it out, and takes home the victory.
Yeah, Misty, really nice control here, faking the air dribble, going forward and just sending Wildcard to the lower bracket. Direwolves will be advancing forward.
That is a beautiful play. The acceleration first into the drop underneath, because of course that acceleration is going to fake out your opponent, thinking, oh, they're going to go high with it. Surely they want to go over the top. He just goes low. So much thought went into that at a split second.
And Walcott still looking a bit cranky, a bit focused, and it looks like the job's not done for Direwolves. Seems like they'll be pushing further and further and hoping